So tell me about your situationship. How old were you? Where'd you guys meet? How long were you together ish? Right.
Yeah. First of all, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you
Okay,
perfect.
good to go. Good to go. Okay, I was active duty military, which was a no-no to begin with. I was, God, this was back in the mid 2000s, and I was down in South Texas,
Okay.
and the bar I was going to. This was after my divorce. The bar I was going to. It was obvious. At the time, it wasn't so obvious. Now that I've been red pilled, it is very obvious that there's quite a few people, doing what they do, and they're married at the same time. My situationship happened to be where a specific woman, no names obviously, but she would come in there at the same time I would, and we would get, we would have drinks, shoot darts, play pool, et cetera, et cetera. And it was the kind of thing where if you didn't go home with anybody at the end of the night, she got a hold of me.
Okay.
So I would get home, I'm sitting there eating whatever, you know what you do after you get home from a bar. You go get your bar food and you're watching a movie. Well, I would get I'd get text messages saying, hey, are you home alone? I want to come do the thing. And the bad part about it is, I've come to terms with it, is she was married, and she didn't care. I mean, and that's what I've found of most women. If you're in a situationship like that, they do not care. You're just giving them what they're missing from their current relationship.
And did you want to was there a part of you that wanted commitment, or that she wanted commitment, or was it purely physical on both ends?
At the time, I guess I would have committed had she gotten divorced, but now looking back on it, no way in heck, no way. It was a pump and dump for sure.
And how long did it last?
Oh God. I'm going to say 2.5, 3 years.
Okay.
Wow.
So a lot of bump and dumps.
Now, was that the only situationship you've been in?
No, actually, no.
How many would you say? How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 52.
52. So how many situationships have you been in, would you say?
I'd say 2.
2. And the other one, how old were both of the women?
The one was, I think she's 3 years younger than I am, and the other one was 15 years younger than I am.
No, I meant
I'm sorry.
at the time,
yeah.
I meant.
Yeah. At the time, no, she's they were both 3 years younger than I am, I think, if I remember correctly.
No,
yeah.
I'm saying how old were they when they were doing it?
Oh God.
30s, 20s.
Probably, yeah, I'd say mid-30s,
Okay,
mid-30s.
Okay, cool. So the other woman, did she want commitment from you or no?
Hell no.
Oh, so she
No,
didn't.
it was a situation where she found me attractive, I found her attractive, and we were both in the same place at the same time and at the bar at the same time, and she's like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And I'm like, "Let's do it," and we did it.
Yeah, no, that's what, because a lot of times people have this idea that only women, like sometimes women are the ones that they don't want commitment, they just want the sex.
Well, that's what happened with my ex-wife. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay. Doug MP, you got any other questions for him?
No, great story.
Cool. Great story. Thanks for calling in.
Absolutely, Pearl. Take care.
Bye-bye. Guys, I forgot to say this announcement before. That was a great call. He called in. He had the story. He didn't ramble. Then when he stops, I ask him a few questions. We can go back and forth. It's great. Then we move on to the next caller. The only thing is make sure the YouTube's not playing in the background. So usually you do get, you can see if we put you on. So who's the next caller we got?
Second.
And the Zoom for all, because I know we stream on a few different platforms. The Zoom link is in the YouTube chat pinned. So if you have to go click YouTube, click Zoom, and then you're on.
Gary C., you're up next.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Gary, how's it going?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Good. Are you in the Midwest?
I am in the Southwest.
Cool. And how old are you?
I'm 39.
39. Okay. How many situationships have you been in your life?
If I had to guess, maybe like around 10.
10.
I've been single most of my adult life. I've had like 3 longer term relationships, which are like between 2 and 3 years each. And pretty much any relationship outside of that has been a situationship. I think it's kind of the natural course of things nowadays is that you find if I meet a girl, I like her, we hit it off and we have good dates and eventually sleep together, then I'm never one to push for a relationship, period. So I'm still continuing to vet even while once we get past the point of things getting physical. And then it's just always the case that something will come up that will red flag her and make me realize, okay, well, she's not somebody I want to have a long-term relationship with. And then it just becomes a game of how long can I keep her around while not tipping my hand and letting her know that I don't have any intentions of making this last very long.
What percent of the women would you say what percent wanted something serious and what percent didn't?
I'd say probably like 70% wanted something serious and 30% they were either in the same headspace as me or kind of like you said, they were probably even more serious about it where they never had any intention of being serious with anybody. And that kind of became clear at the beginning.
Okay. So how long did your longest one last and the shortest one? And what were some of the things that came up in the time when you guys were dating?
Okay. So the longest one was about 2 years. And then I think Doug said it earlier and a couple other, whoever else came on before, what would come up is just that, I mean, the fact is that if the longer that something goes on, more often than not, you're going to have to do things that are relationship type things in order to keep the interest going. Because again, it's like you said it yourself, that it's kind of like you're running a script, you're doing a sales pitch basically over a long period of time. So what would happen is that there would be discussions that would come up after you did some of those relationship type stuff. And those would always be like what are we? Does this mean that something has changed? Yeah. And like Doug said, that honestly, those conversations would immediately kind of, for me, bring up a situation where it's like, okay, is it time to just end this? Because those conversations are just the worst. And it does sometimes also kind of play on my conscience because it's like, okay, well, clearly this girl's getting more invested. I don't really it's not my intention to waste anybody's time to the point where they're going to miss out on a more meaningful opportunity. Although honestly, there's some times where I feel like I'm actually doing other men a service by kind of keeping a girl off the market.
Yeah, let's go.
That's one of the funniest things I've had a caller say.
You're doing a public
honestly,
service.
because I feel like the way that I approach things, I always come at from the first date when I try to have conversations. I've never asked a girl about her body count. I think that's really stupid to do something like that. But I do always try to make assessments right from the beginning, and it will always be in a way where I'll do things like ask her what's the craziest thing you've ever done or the craziest hookup you've ever had. And then I'll always make it a flowing conversation where I'm sharing stuff, she's sharing stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm taking notes in the back of my head. And I've been so shocked sometimes at the amount of things that have been revealed to me that in my mind, I'm like, somebody else would totally wife this chick up and she would destroy them.
What's been admitted to you?
Honestly, just group activities, just again, no numbers, but just kind of through gathering through conversation, the sheer number of people that they've been with was just way more than I would have guessed from just like the first couple of encounters that I had with them. And again, I think I'm a pretty good judge of character. And like, if I just had like a one-time sit down and it was just like that coffee date or whatever, I would have never guessed that they were that like active and had that many different partners.
Well, here's the thing. Pillow talk, after sex talk with a situationship who's trying to get upgraded to like a relationship, they'll say anything. They'll say all sorts of crazy stuff.
And did you ever think about upgrading any of them?
I honestly, I have not. And I think that I just, okay, let me put it this way. I personally have only seen other people. So I like you, I have seen people upgrade their situationship. First of all, actually, I meant to say this at the beginning. I don't know any guys that actually use the term situationship unironically. Like, we don't say that.
What do you
That's
guys
true.
like? What do you guys say?
Like a side chick, or like, or somebody that like, if they're like, is that your girl? And you're like, no, I'm just hitting it. That's like, that's what the situationship.
Yeah, we make up all these terms to make us feel better.
Yeah, like if I heard one of my buddies say situationship, I would really have to check his man card.
That's funny.
You gotta.
I could have come up with a better title. My bad.
No. I mean, it's like we need terms to be able to discuss stuff, right? So I think situationship makes a ton of sense, and women are already using it. So like it does describe what we're talking about. Like I said, I just never heard. It's almost like the word inappropriate. I've never heard one of my friends say inappropriate. I think some of these words are really like female words.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Gary, I'm going to give you a piece of advice to ease your conscience. Like I said to Pearl in the conversation, you got to make sure she's aware that she's choosing to be there.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah, because then that'll ease up on your conscience.
Yeah, and to be honest, I like my conscience is clear all the time because I'm always honest. Like, again, at the beginning, I give enough hope for them to stick around. But the fact is that for the most part, especially on the onset, I am actually giving them a shot. Like I am open to somebody surprising me, and every single one of my serious relationships have been girls that otherwise would have been a situationship, but it was like as I continued to get to know them better, they surprised me at having more character than I assumed people to have. So eventually I was like, okay. So I guess technically all my relationships were upgraded situationships, but it's almost like once I've really decided that it's not going to be serious, I've never really like
You're
changed
saying
my
once
mind.
she's in the non-serious box, then she's never clawed her way out.